Chud327 out in the garden. This is my okra patch. Anyway, in this video, I've got three things for you. I'm gonna show you my new toolbox. I've had it probably 2 years. Anyway, I'm gonna show it to you and some of my tool collection inside. I really like cordless 20-volt Craftsman tools, and I've been collecting them for a couple, maybe 4 years now. And I've also got some new tools to unbox. I want to test them, see how I like them, and then not really abuse them, but test them up to their limit. And then I also have a new mower sneak peek. It is a Troy built. And to be honest, I've lost count. I don't know if this is number 8, number 9. This is another free Troy built. Just a sneak peek, walk around, let's show you what's coming. Let's get started. Also, we might cut some okra and cook it in this video too. Maybe some okra and some ribs. Chud327 out in the shop, and today we need to do some tool talk, some garage talk. I'm out in the garage, I've got these kittens. They just volunteered, the mama just dropped them off here, and they're gonna be raised to keep out the mice, keep out the rats. If you need a cat, let me know. Anyway, I'm gonna let this one down. And today we need to do some tool talk. I've got this cabinet. I've had this probably 2 years. I found it at Lowe's on clearance. I talked to the manager. I said, is the price gonna go down anymore? It was already a good price. He said, give me your number and I'll call you. He never called. I went back with my trailer. I checked again and the price had dropped even more. I didn't find him. I just went ahead and put it on the trailer. And it was funny, when I went to buy it, it had a price like right here. And the cashier rang it up and I was like, should I tell him? I better tell him. So I opened this and it was another price. And instead of 300 something, it was a 600 total. It was $1,400 new. I got it for like $608, $610. So under half price. It's the best toolbox I've ever had. And now talking about some of the tools that are in it. I am a sucker when it comes to lifetime warranties. Example, I got these gear wrenches a long time ago. I wish I had these when I was growing up. We had old standard wrenches like this, on, off, on, off. I love a ratcheting wrench. Anyway, I got that kit on clearance. I've had that probably 15 years, use it all the time, love it. It's very convenient right here in this drawer, my gear wrenches. That's standard and metric. And another recent, within the last probably 4 or 5 years, I've been collecting Craftsman 20-volt tools. I love me some cordless tools. I've got battery chargers that come with them. There's batteries that come with them. I try to buy them on Marketplace on clearance, not on clearance, but really, really cheap, or in the store on clearance or sale prices. If it's on sale, if it looks like a good deal, if I remotely need it, I'll get it. If it's on Marketplace and it looks like a good deal, it might be 3 tools and a battery for really cheap, and I might say I need that tool and that battery, and the other ones I'll just put them in the collection, never use them, and have them in the collection just in case I ever need them. One example, I bought a car washer, a little hand vac, and a battery, and a corded shop vac that I think the shop vac had been used once, the other stuff was still new, the battery, all for $30. That's cheaper than the price of just one battery, and it was all new stuff. I got a Sawzall flashlight, a grinder, and I think a battery, and maybe something else that all came in a bag for 80 bucks. I'm like, that's the price of one tool, let me get it. So I've been building this collection over the last probably, we'll say 4 years. I remember back about 10 years ago, 9 years ago, I built a tiny house. I was up on the roof with a drill. I was drilling holes, and I was putting screws in. I had 2 different drills, cords, extension cords. That's a pain. Now I've got a drill, I've got a little impact. I could be up there cordless. That's what I'm looking forward to. Cordless, easy. Battery goes dead, change it out. And I've got probably 6 or 7 batteries. Most of them are the 2 amp. I got one that's the 4 amp. I've got about 4 chargers. The son-in-law, he also has some Craftsman tools. We sometimes swap stuff. I've got this skill saw. He's used it more than I've used it just because he's redoing a house, and very handy. Hard to beat. This is one of the package deal off Marketplace. The other part of that was a grinder. I actually gave him the grinder because my local Ace had grinders on sale, and I picked up a brand new one. I don't know what it was, 39, 49, I don't remember what it was, but very handy. Like say you go to the junkyard, you want to cut off a muffler. I got this, I got my Sawzall. Super handy. I want to show you my whole collection, and today in this box we've got an unboxing, more cordless power tools. Not Craftsman, but they wanted me to test them out. We'll get to that in just a minute. So cordless grinder, very handy. This is my big battery. This battery's on sale cheaper than the small batteries. That's a no-brainer, so I got it. I've already showed you my Sawzall. Also, essentials, you have to have a drill, you have to have an impact. Very handy, love this, use it all the time. In fact, have 2 drills. One came as a package deal. This Sawzall, I use it all the time too. Junkyard cutting off mufflers, out in the woods cutting off trees. I've got this aggressive wood bit for cutting off limbs. That's my, it's my substitute for a chainsaw. And then let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tools so far. And then in this bottom drawer, this car washer, it was a car washer, a handheld vacuum cleaner, a shop vac that's corded, and I think a battery for 30 bucks. And it's just like brand new. Once I get my truck running, we'll use this to wash my truck. This handheld vac, never been used. Put a battery in it, we could go right to town. And when you redo houses in, well, I just did the little shed. I'm now doing a little bathroom in the backyard. If you want to put up trim, this is super handy. I prefer the power of the air compressor with the nail gun. It's quicker. I don't know if it's more powerful, but it is quicker if you want to put in a bunch of nails quick. But this, you've got to drag an air compressor with you. This is a lot more convenient than bringing an air compressor, air hose. You pop that on there. It takes the same nails that my pneumatic one uses. Why not use this? This was on sale. And I probably have more tools that I'm forgetting about. I know I just bought, hurricane season is here in Florida. I just bought this fan. I tried to get one last year and all the fans were sold out. Sold out, couldn't find one. Went to several different stores, couldn't find one. This was 20% off at my local Ace. I went ahead and got it. Sometimes during hurricane season, I know a few years ago, we were out of power for 8 days. I've got a flowing well, so we've got water. If I've got that, I can stay cool with a fan at night. And then I've already shown you these up here. This is the fan that I found last year during hurricane season. Anything in that little thing, it actually does put out a lot of air. And the battery lasts about 8 hours. So that'll go all through the night. The next day you can put on a new battery. I love this little tiny fan. They were sold out, but this one they had it as a demonstrator. Yeah, we'll sell you a demonstrator. Okay, I'll take it. So I got it. This light, I don't know how many hours it lasts. It's probably another 8-hour thing once you charge the battery up. If we were to put on the big battery, it'd probably be, I don't know, 15, 16 hours worth of light, and very handy at night. I got this little sander. It was on sale at Ace, $19.99. I don't really need a sander right now, but I got it. I'll need it someday. And I'm a sucker for other Craftsman tools. The drill bits when they're on sale, anything Craftsman. And from what I hear, there's a Shears that's still open. Maybe it's the last remaining Shears on the planet that's open in Orlando. That's about 3 hours from me. Next time I'm in Orlando, I'm going to it. I want to go, like, for old time's sake. It used to be my favorite thing at the mall. Just drop me off at Shears. I can go look at tools and lawnmowers and outdoor stuff and you name it. But Shears are all gone except the one in Orlando, so we're going to check that out. I will make a video for you if I get down there to Shears, if it's actually a real thing. And right before we do the unboxing, there's one more tool, probably one of my favorites. It is one of my favorites. I use it all the time. This is a 1/2-inch impact wrench. It's got lots of power. It's very convenient. You want to take some lug nuts off, you want to put some lug nuts on. Very handy when I'm taking mower parts, engines off, whatever. It speeds up the process so much. I got this from a pawn shop, new in the box. I think it was $75, $79. Cheaper than you get at the store. And my store, I used to love Home Depot better than Lowe's because Lowe's prices were a little bit higher, like on lumber. But now Lowe's, that's where I gotta get my Craftsman stuff. Like when it's on clear. Lowe's has it, Ace has it. Home Depot, I still like Home Depot, but they don't have Craftsman tools. Tractor Supply, I love Tractor Supply, but they don't have Craftsman tools. Lowe's and Ace, they got my Craftsman tools. Anyway, let's get this box open. In case you have any suspense, we gotta see what's inside here. Oh, that's the name of the company. I need to put that on the screen for you. SEESII USA. I'm sorry, US. Inside that box was a box. It is a chainsaw and pruning shears. I've been eyeballing, oh, it comes with a kit. There's a handle, an oil bottle, screwdriver, a wrench, a wet rock, some gloves. I've been eyeballing these, not with the pruners, but I've been eyeballing chainsaws. Craftsman chainsaws, they're about the same size, but it's a little more than I want to pay right now for a chainsaw. Here's one that we can test. And the battery Would it be weird if a Craftsman battery actually fit on there? I already know it don't, but it was worth a shot. It came with 2 batteries. It says it's fully charged. Good tight snap on there. This thing, it seems like it's got a lot of power. Lots of speed too. A 21 volt. I thought it was a 20 volt. This is a 21 volt, so it's a volt higher. And there's where you can put your handle on. Came with a charger and another battery, which is also, it says fully charged. Power on. Oh, that's quick too. Another 21 volts. So these two will change batteries. If you're just using the saw, you'll have 2 batteries. If you're just using the pruning shears, you'll have 2 batteries. Oh, that's pretty exciting. We can go now. They're fully charged. We can go now and start testing them. As soon as I did that unboxing, I thought of another Craftsman tool right here in the garage. This weed eater. I went to town wanting a Sawzall, strictly going to buy Sawzall. It was $79. Then I saw a sign that says, if you buy this weed eater, I'm like, I don't need a weed eater. What's the deal? If you buy this weed eater for $99, you get a battery for free with the Sawzall for free. Oh, well, I'll do that. The battery would have been Sawzall $79, $20 for this, weed eater free, or buy this for $99, free battery, free Sawzall, however you want to look at it. Now I think I'll go to town and buy the oil for the chainsaw, then we're going to test it. The Craftsman version of this chainsaw is $139. Maybe we need a blower too. Anyway, the pruner is $139 also. Okay, I'm back from town. I got some generic bar and chain lubricating oil. I put it into this jug so then we can put it into this jug. And the good news is it's got a gas gauge right here, so we'll know how much is in there. So I had the chainsaw laying down. It leaked out some oil on the truck. Not that I care, that'll keep the truck from rusting, but maybe you're supposed to store it in the upright position. I've also put the handle on it and the pruner's ready. The rain has slowed down. Let's go find some limbs to cut. The boy, he planted 3 trees here a long time ago. They're getting pretty big. Anyway, these limbs are hanging so low when you go to mow, they're really in the way. Let's try the pruner. Effortless. So far, 10 out of 10. Let's move in closer so you can see it cutting some really big stuff. So we're on level 3, which is supposed to be good up to 30 centimeters. That's about 30 centimeters here. It won't even fit in there very good. Cuts it right off. This one's probably more like a level 1, but I got that on wide open. And what's so less than a second, it cuts it. That is much better. Now I can mow under it easy. And I've got the John Deere. We're gonna ride over there to those trees. I don't wanna walk because the other day the neighbor killed a big rattlesnake. Let me show you a clip of that. So this huge pine tree has some really low hanging limbs. I can't run the tractor under that. Let's trim it. We'll try the pruner first. It didn't fit. Not a problem. That's a pretty decent size. What, about 3-inch? And probably, since this is just from the factory, it's as sharp as it'll ever be. We can always resharpen it. Don't try this at home. This is one hand while videoing. Here's the sample we just ripped through. It is 3.5 inches. Not an issue at all. So a while back, the boy needed some trees for a build on one of his videos. He cut these off, I guess, with a axe, and he left these stobs. I'm gonna try to clean it up a little bit. There's one. Turn those into firewood. This be extremely handy if I go camping, cutting up some firewood. Maybe the biggest one yet. That's most of a 6-inch blade, maybe 4.25, 4.5 inches. I'll make sure to pump some more oil on that blade. So first I cut that one, then I cut this one. Now let's try this big one. It won't even fit in. It had plenty of power, just the teeth weren't big enough for it. Too much? No. Have to take 2 bites on these big ones. Or not. Yep, gotta take 2 or 3 bites on the really big ones. One more. Tree and vine, or just tree and vine. So I've not been showing every shot, and some of it's been sped up. Anyway, I think I'm gonna trim this tree in time lapse. And I'm trying to pick my favorite between the saw and the shears. I'm really liking the shears. The saw's cool, but I'm really liking the shears. I'm gonna use the shears on this tree. All right, to the next tree. If you hold it for 5 seconds, it locks the blade shut. Power's still on, but the blades are locked shut, and we're still on 3 lights, full power. Time out, my shoe is untied. So I was trimming that tree. I guess my battery went dead. Oh well, that's what it looks like now. So 2 clicks turns it back on. And we are still at, looks like about 3.5 for battery, level 3 for power. Good enough? Good enough. Back on safety. I've got one more spot when I'm riding the John Deere under this tree. The tree gets in the way, it's right in the driveway. Let's go trim that tree. Grasshopper. Trim that one a little bit. I'm gonna get off the mower and trim some of those better. So now this phone is about dead. The driveway has been cut. Who would have known that the batteries in the tools would have lasted longer than the phone? So this holly bush has not been trimmed good in a long time. It's pokey, so I'm gonna put the gloves on. I went and changed shirts because the other one I was all wet from trimming out in the rain. Anyway, I was really dreading this. The wife, she said it needs to be trimmed. I was kind of dreading it, but now that I have these new shears, I'm kind of excited. Let's see how long this takes. I'll put you on time lapse. We'll see how long it takes. I don't call that good enough. Never even broke a sweat. Piece of cake. Don't worry, it'll grow back in just a few minutes. So I just trimmed a second bush. It's down to the nub. It wasn't as big as that one, but almost, maybe half the size. Anyway, up next, I'm gonna go spread these leaves out across the field so they can just decompose. And my batteries on these, I've been using these for hours now, and this one is at 2 bars still. The chainsaw, I've used a little less. It's still on 4 bars. So the batteries last a long time on these guys. And the oil, we're about So I'm about to cut the okra, and this is a little bit of overkill. This will be on setting 3. If you'll notice how big the opening is, when you put it on setting 1, it goes down to that size, suggested retail size. If you go 2, a little bit wider, 3, all the way open. We're gonna cut these on 1. I missed. And I always wanna make sure my fingers are clear of those cutters. I usually use scissors for this, but tonight we're being fancy. When you cut them, if they're too big, the tip won't break off. Throw them away. If the tip breaks off, I keep them. Next time. That is Creole seasoning and okra. That'll go good with those ribs I was teasing you about earlier. So the shearing work is done. I am hungry. There is a cheese baked potato, ribs, and some okra. So I'm using the new saw to make a ladder for the chickens. I'm doing a flat spot so I can nail onto that board. So I was just working on the chicken pen for the daughter with a chainsaw. I did kill this battery, and I was kind of mad because there's no indicator light on the whole battery that tells you live, dead. I mean, it'll tell you that it's dead. It don't tell you that it's charging. But if you look up there on the plug, it's green. When we plug it into the battery, it turns red. So now I know dead is indicated by the red light. Once it's green, we'll be good to go. This is Troy number 5. It sits in the front yard as a yard ornament, which is a shame. It wants to go to the river and pop wheelies in the sand, but I don't ride it as much as I should. In case you forgot, Troy number 5 was free. It's a 17.5 horse Briggs. And it just sits here. All it needs is gas and a battery and it's ready to go. If you look in the background, this is going to be Troy number 8 or number 9. I've lost count. It's a Bronco 42. I don't know anything about it, but I'm guessing the deck rusted out and they were going to throw it away. Instead of going to the recycle place, instead of going to the scrapyard, it came here. This is shout out to Alex. He brought it to me. Hey, do you want this Troy belt? Yeah, I want a Troy belt. It's just like the one on my shirt. It is a 19 horse Intech Briggs. And I don't see any rust on the thing. If we, I was gonna say pop the seat, but first let's look at the seat. First look at that seat. That is a good looking seat. Very good looking. Under the seat, I don't see any rust. Everything looks complete. I know if we can get it running and do a pulley flop, buy a new belt. It used to be about $27. You've got a mud mower that's ready to rip. We may need to build some wheelie bars. I don't know if it's gonna get a seat. I don't know. Leave me some comments what you think I should do with it. I am excited. So battery, gas, pulley flop, new belt. It needs a key. I've got some ag tires in the back. That'd be a quick and easy, let's get it going type of thing. I'm starting to study this Troy belt. It says Bronco 42 Auto. There's an extra pedal here. And you're thinking, is it a hydro? But when you look under here, it looks like all the other Troys I've ever had. And then I see this thing, it's rubbing up on the belt. Maybe that's why they threw it away. I don't know, but we will be investigating. As we try to wrap up this video, ignore the boat. That's a future project. That's a future video. This is wax myrtle. Here we have some live oak. I wonder if we can make a point on the end. Here's pear. Big thick pear. And here's that pine that we cut earlier that's 3.5 inches. Surely that'll choke it down. Watch your fingers. And pretty much as fast as you can go. Could have made a slingshot out of that one. What if we just do the tip? Long ways. And one more thing about this, I forgot it in the boat on the seat. It rained crazy hard yesterday. I came out and found it. Whoops, shook it off. And it's ready to rip still. That's it. And the boy wanted to test it. Cooking. So I just came back to this one. It's gonna be a challenge, but I'm gonna try to cut it off here with these shears. Worst case scenario, I gotta go home and get the chainsaw. So first here, and then second will be here, and then third. This don't look good. 2 bites. Okay, we have found its limit, but I'm not giving up. How do you get it back out of there without breaking it? Ooh. Yes, sir, that will work. I just did some trimming on that limb. It was touching the ground. I'll probably come back with a chainsaw and trim it more. Anyway, trimming there, trimming here. I've used the shears more off camera than I have on camera. I mean, how much of this can you watch? Anyway, I want to give it a good test and tell you what I think about it. I really like it.